Well, hello, everybody. This is Albina, and today is a really, really big day because today we're covering KPIs, key performance indicators. And what I want to say about this topic is that it is extremely important. It is really, really important for you guys to understand the numbers, to see the picture behind the numbers, to measure where your business stands today, and whatever changes that you implement in your business, it's important to be able to measure those changes and make really, really informed decisions based on data, actually on data rather than just the feeling. So it's module 3, and it's called Your Rockstar KPIs, Key Performance Indicators. So let's start with a meditation. So sit up tall. In a business term, I did this fancy business course for a few years back. They called it recalibration. But we yogis, we just can call it meditation. So sit up really tall and close your eyes and take a really deep inhale. And exhale all the breath out. This time, inhale down into your belly. Feel for relaxing your belly. Exhale and maybe move your shoulders a little bit side to side, getting out of your head and connecting to the innate intelligence of your whole body, not just your brain. And breathe deeply right now, connecting to your inner brilliance. And you can just say it with me, or you can just listen to me. And I'm just going to call to the powers of the highest good. We need your help. Please come and help us to understand these numbers. Help us to understand the numbers easily in such a way that it clicks and it makes total sense. Help us understand the picture that these numbers are painting for us, so that we can make informed decisions for our business, make really good, outstanding, powerful decisions for our business, so that our business can thrive and succeed. Thank you. Yeah, so let's start. So what I want to start with today is this: the most common issues in the yoga industry, and let me just move this around a little bit so you can see it better. The most common issues in the yoga industry. So I've worked with a lot of yoga studio owners, and as you know, I've ran 7 yoga studios, Yoga One, and I know that the top 3 issues that everybody faces in this industry is low retention, low revenues, and not enough marketing. So if you can turn these 3 things around, and I'll teach you how to turn these 3 things around in this course, then you will see how your business will start turning around pretty quickly and pretty massively. So today we'll talk about retention, because it's a really, really big thing. And once you understand what retention means and what different ratios means, then after that, you can implement certain things that will help you increase your retention. So let's start by talking about KPIs. KPI is the king or the queen of our business. KPI is key performance indicators. Since in my prior life, I used to be a CPA, certified public accountant, I kind of nerd off on the numbers. I like numbers. I like running numbers. I like to measure everything in numbers. And at the same time, you probably get the idea that I'm a very spiritual person. A lot of my decisions that I make in my businesses are based on my intuition and inner guidance and inner hearing. So what I'm saying is, I think it is important to be able to embody all parts of you, your yoga, spiritual, intuitive side, divine guidance type of side. And also it is important for you to crunch the numbers regularly, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. It is important to run the numbers, to look at the numbers, and to understand the numbers, and to understand what kind of picture the numbers are painting. So KPI is the queen because it helps us understand how our business is doing. It also helps us understand whether or not our business is growing or it's regressing. It also helps us quantify our business performance rather than just basing it on the gut feeling. You can feel one way or another about your business, and when you look at the numbers, what I can say, what can I say? Numbers don't lie. They will always paint a very impartial, neutral picture. And also, what I need to say here, it doesn't matter where your business stands today, whether or not you're just starting your business, you're in the very early stages of starting your business, maybe you're in a stage where your business is growing, or it's been a couple of years and it's kind of hit the plateau, or maybe your business is regressing, or maybe you are ready to sell your yoga business and exit the industry. Wherever your business is, it's important that you have really strong KPIs. And today, hopefully my intention is to help you understand the numbers and also give you a few ideas how you can turn these numbers around. So I wanted to have this basic understanding of KPI so that when we go into marketing down the road in the next modules, when we go into how to develop your sales culture in your organization, how to develop new products, how to constantly innovate, you can base all of these decisions on solid numbers, not just the gut feeling, or sometimes yoga teachers can get all wooey, which is, I'm very wooey, I'm very kooky, but at the same time, I always look at the numbers. All right, so let me start with a few important points. If you have a business with multiple locations, in my opinion, I highly recommend that you run your KPIs for every location and then the aggregate report. So when I ran my yoga studios, I had 7 locations, and literally I ran a report for every one of those locations and the aggregate. In the beginning, I ran these reports myself, partially because I wanted to understand the numbers myself, and also partially because I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I couldn't trust my team. And I was like, well, if they make a mistake, then I'll make my decision on erroneous data. But eventually it got so big that I had my team, I delegated, and somebody on my team ran these reports on a monthly basis. Also, what I want to emphasize is patience. Patience, my friends. It takes between 6 to 12 months to truly see the impact of the changes that you are going to make as a result of this course. And I'm going to repeat once again, last time we talked about pricing. This time we're going to talk about KPIs. Write down all your ideas, and then you and I will have one-on-one call, and I'll help you look at the numbers. It always helps to have an extra set of eyes look at your ideas and to just discuss whether or not it's a good idea to implement these ideas and how to execute. Execution is a big thing. So even though you'll have a lot of great ideas right now, just jot them down. I do not recommend implementing the ideas right away until we finish up all 6 modules, okay? And sometimes people make changes to the schedule, and then in a month they freak out and they're like, oh, the classes are empty. I'm like, no. It takes a minimum of 6 months to see the result of your changes. Like if you add a class to the schedule, or you take the class off the schedule, if you change the class in your schedule, it's not going to be a 1-month deal. It's not even going to be 2 or 3 month deal. You have to give it at least 6 months to truly see the effect of your changes. So be patient, breathe. That's why, in pricing, like I don't recommend making pricing changes all the time. Usually when I ran my businesses, in 10 years that I ran Yoga One, we maybe made 3 pricing changes ever in 10 years. So that's just the impact. And whenever we made class changes, schedule changes, we would make it once a year. In the new studios, maybe twice a year. That's it. We never met. There were classes on our schedule that were there from the day we opened for 10 years. We never messed with the schedule. Anyway, I'll talk about the schedule in more details down the road in next modules, right? Because it is important. Today we're focusing on KPIs. Also, what I want to say before we dive into the numbers is that, KPIs KPIs help us measure retention. And when retention is low, usually the root of the problem or the root of the issue is your pricing and it is a sales opportunity. So either you need to make some tweaks to your pricing, and we'll talk about the sales kind of flow, from the moment that person walks into your studio to all the way to the moment when they become your member, and how to nourish and maintain that relationship with your clients, with your raving fan, as a matter of fact. So it's either pricing or sales, meaning your sales process is not effective. So those are usually the two things that are at the root of the low retention issue. Okay, so I hope you watched from the bonuses videos, I hope you watched the basic KPIs, KPI basics. If you haven't watched it yet, I highly encourage you. I'm actually going to demand that you watch that video before you even run these numbers. They're more advanced numbers that we're diving into today. And in that previous video under your bonuses, I talked about revenues and I talked about attendance. Your revenues will always go hand in hand with your attendance. If your attendance is high, your revenues will grow. If your attendance is declining, your revenues are most likely going to decline. Also in that video, I talked about forecasting, setting goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and daily goals for you and your team to constantly keep an eye on revenues and attendance. It's really, really important. So today we'll focus on retention. Yay, retention. And if you remember last time when we talked about pricing, I said, usually in our industry, yoga industry, fitness industry, retention, if you don't do anything, if you don't take mindful steps towards increasing your attendance, or thought out steps towards increasing your retention, your retention will be less than 10%. That's really depressing, meaning that only 10% of your clients that were coming last year are coming this year. That means that you have to bring 90% of new clients. Do you know how hard that is? To bring in 90% new clients every year is extremely challenging. So that is why I will say it again. It's so much easier to retain your existing client rather than bring a new client into the door. So our goal is to retain, keep the client who's already came into our door, seduce him, romance him or her to become our member, to fall in love with our offerings, with our teachers, with our philosophy, with our core values, with our vibe. It's really, really important to focus on retention. So when we talk about retention, today we'll talk about all these colorful things that are on the screen. We'll talk about sales by category. We'll talk about year-over-year retention. We'll talk about first visit, intro offer, intro retained, and intro to auto pay. I understand right now it may be like, what? But just breathe with me. I'm going to explain it in great details. Okay? And then if you have any questions, just type them in the chat, and then I'm going to come back to your questions at the end of this call. So before we do anything else, sit up tall, lift up through your chest, take a deep breath, and just say it with me. I love numbers. Numbers love me. I love numbers. Numbers love me. Remember how I said everything, whatever you do, 80% of your success in anything depends on your inner state. And the quickest way to step into your power, into the best inner state ever, psychology, you start with your physical body. So lift up your arms, take a deep breath, and say it with me one more time. I love numbers. Numbers love me. Yes? I like to also follow up by saying, I love money. Money love me, because essentially your numbers will translate into dollars. Do you understand that? This is why it's so important for you to understand the numbers and to look at your numbers. Understand the picture that the numbers are painting. Okay. Oh, did I do it twice? Look at that. I put 2 slides. Oh, no, I didn't. Never mind. Maybe I did. if you look at your chat window, I put a link there, and let me see where that link is. So click on that link, please. And I truly believe that your link will bring you to this page, which is a hidden page available only to you. And I ask you that you save that page under your favorites, because you cannot just find that page on my website. And then, you know, I also realize that some of you are having a difficult time navigating this page. So in this page, you'll see all the modules and instant access here. So we did module 1, we did module 2. Today we're doing module 3. You know, I already set up all 6 modules, but here at the bottom, you'll find the bonus materials, you know, all of your vision and goals exercises, KPI. This is the basic video that I'm asking you to watch if you haven't already. There is a video on Facebook ads. There is a more advanced video on how to run more advanced Facebook ads, Rockstar Incantations. And then I also send you a really powerful meditation earlier this week, how to step out of overwhelm and stress. This, I think this is the most effective and the most efficient way to shift your inner state, to step out of overwhelm and stress, and to connect into your power, your brilliance, your creativity, all that good stuff. So today what I'd like for you to do is go under module 3, instant access. Click on that, and please do it with me. And this is where I'm gonna put up this video that we're recording this very moment. I'm gonna put it up here. So right now it's a dead link, but if you go here, you'll see download KPI template. Click on that. I want you to download the KPI template. Okay. And hopefully, let me see if you can see it. I'm gonna share with you a different screen. Hopefully you see this beautiful creature. Take a deep breath. So yours that you see right now is empty, right? It doesn't have the numbers, but mine has some numbers. So I want you to take a deep breath right now. Remember how we said, I love numbers. Numbers love me. I'm going to explain to you every single number in the spreadsheet to the point where you're going to be like, heck yeah, I am a badass. I know how to run every single number here, and I understand what this number means. So when you fill out your own KPI spreadsheet, the template, you're going to fill out everything in the blue. Yes, everything else is a formula. I'm going to repeat that again. This light blue is what you're going to fill out. Everything else is a formula. Do not mess with anything else. Also, what you'll see here is, you know, like attendance and revenues, and you'll see the how to run these reports. And now, for the simplicity's sake, I assume that you use MindBody Online. So these instructions are for MindBody Online software. If you use something else, there is reporting that is very similar to MindBody reporting. You're just going to have to find out with your provider. Now, there are some of you guys in this training who do not track numbers anywhere. Maybe you like write it down on a piece of paper. You know, I'm going to say it as kindly and as compassionately as I can, with a lot of love, support, and encouragement, is that you have to invest into some type of software so that you can run these reports, so you can track your attendance, so you can track your revenues, so that you can track your numbers, so that you can make your decisions based on numbers, informed decisions, and not just like your feelings. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really important to have really good record keeping. So this attendance and revenue section of this spreadsheet, we're not going to talk about it right now because it's in the KPI basics training that I recorded for you in the bonuses, and I hope you watched it. If you haven't, please go back and watch it. Essentially what the top portion of the spreadsheet does, it shows you revenues by month. I also like to track auto pays because I think that auto pay is another queen. It's really, really important. And then it also tracks your attendance. I'm not going to spend time on going over these numbers again. Watch that other video, but it is important. It is extremely important, I'm going to say it again, to track your revenues and your attendance at the very least by each month. I like to track it weekly, daily. My team at all 7 locations, they all tracked daily attendance. We emphasized it because it is important. Remember, your attendance drives your revenues, and your revenues at the end of the day pay all your bills. It is a business. It's a very spiritual, business where you spread the light and you change people's lives, and it's very, spiritual. And at the same time, you have to make money. You have to make money. You have to pay your bills. You have to pay yourselves, you guys. You have to pay yourselves. I'm saying this and I realize that I'm running a hotel right now, and I'm in the position where I'm in the position where I was with Yoga One 11 years ago. A lot of work, not enough numbers, but I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to turn it around with you guys. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Woo! All right, so this is an introduction. We're going to come back to this spreadsheet in a moment, but before I go there, I'm kind of jumping around. I apologize about that. I'm going to show you what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you sales by category. So sales by category report is this baby here. It is extremely important. I'm just giving you an example of my friend who I am coaching one-on-one. And she opened the studio less than a year ago, and she's already kicking all sorts of butts. So let me show you how to run that report. So you got, open your MindBody. If you have MindBody, if you're using MindBody, let's run these reports together. I'm going to go through that a little bit quickly. But when you watch this video again, you can pause and play so that you can run these reports with me. So under reports in MindBody. Oh shoot, I gotta log back in. 1 second. Yay, under reports. You are gonna go under sales here on the left, follow along, take a deep breath, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Under sales, you will see a report called sales by category right here, sales by category. I'm going to start it. And when you start, it becomes your favorite report. It's a shortcut. It creates a shortcut here. So let's say I'm going to run sales by category for last month. You see here, last month. You can also look and select your own data period. So I'm just going to run it for around last month. You see there is here accrual and cash. Now, without getting too much into accounting, there is cash-based accounting, there's accrual-based accounting. If your revenues are less than $1 million, you can do cash. Just take it. Don't worry about it. If your revenues are less than $1 million, you can do cash. Now, if your revenues are more than $1 million, you can do accrual. But honestly, I'll tell you that when I ran 7 yoga studios and our revenues were mid 7 figures, I did all my reporting on cash because I wasn't bothered. Let me explain. Accrual is if somebody bought a 10 class pass right now today and they give you $100. Technically, in the accrual-based accounting, you have to prorate. If a person came 3 times a month, so this month you technically can only record 3/10 times 100, right? Because they only came 3 times. So you see how it complicates things? Just forget about it. Run cash. That's all I'm saying. I recommend running cash. I always ran cash, even when my yoga studio was huge. Okay, so we're going to just run it. Sorry, guys, if I just complicated you. I didn't mean to. Always run cash. That's what I recommend. So last month, in the month of July, it was $17,000. Well, actually, that's not what I'm doing sales by category. In this report, you see how it breaks down products, it breaks down services, and if you look carefully here, you'll see that she has all sorts of categories here: 10 class pass, auto pay, fees, private lessons, retreats, sound healing. So what I can tell you guys, this is messy. This is messy. And what I would recommend is cleaning up your categories. So let's take a deep breath. I talked about it a little bit in the KPI basics video, I believe. So categories, if you set up everything correctly in your software, your reporting will be smooth as butter. When you run the numbers, it's going to be so easy for you to understand them. If there is messy stuff like right now on the screen, it's going to be very difficult for you to understand the numbers. So that's why setting it up is very important, or cleaning it up is extremely important. So what I mean by that, why do I say it's messy? In the categories, in my opinion, it should be just a few categories, which is your class passes. Auto pay, I would set it up in a separate category. Retail would be one category. Teacher training would be one category. That's about it. Maybe you can set up like gift cards or something like that, or retreats if you do them. And that's it, 7 categories max. Do you know what I mean? 10 class pass, it's not its own category. Its category is class passes. Do you know what I mean? 5 class pass is not its own category. It's in a category of class passes. Are you with me? Autopay, I would set it up in its own category, because autopay is like freaking king. I want to keep an eye on my autopay every single day of the week. You know, sometimes I would go in the morning, check my autopays, check them in the evenings. Like, it's that important. So I'd set it up in its own category. Then teacher training, a separate category. And then workshop is another category. And then retreats, if you do, another category. Do you know what I mean? So all of this needs to be cleaned up. I know you're watching this video right now, so please clean it up. Simplify your categories. So what I want to show you guys is this thing, sales by category. So what I did is I summarized her year-to-date numbers. And you see how I said clean up your categories in your software for correct reporting. It's extremely important. Why do we look at this report? We look at this report to figure out what is our money makers. So what I did essentially for this summary sheet, I summed up all of her, manually, I summed up all of her like messy things into buckets. So I said products, which is her retail products. I put interest special in its own category, because for me it's important to see how my interest specials are doing. 10 class pass, I did put it in its own category for some reason, but that's okay. Auto pay is its own category, and I said she had like a bunch of different auto pays. All of these auto pays need to be into one category of auto pay. Schedule workshops, sound healing should be under one category with workshops. Prepaid, I truly believe those are her class passes, retreats, teacher trainings, and other. So look at the percentages. Her auto pay is 56% of her revenues. This is really amazing. Kudos. 56% of your revenues being auto pay is extremely, extremely good. That means that no matter what, 56% of your revenues are going to come. You know, your studio can be shut down, your plumbing can explode, you have to shut down your studio for 3 days, but you know that no matter what, even if your studio is closed, those auto pays are coming into your bank account. You want to have that coming in no matter what. So that's really good. So the next category is her prepaids. I believe those are class passes. And then do you see how like workshops is 1%? So if you're spending, as a studio owner, if you're spending 99% of your time promoting your workshops, it doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Focus on your energy and time on your money makers, which is your auto pays, which is your class passes. Workshops make up only 1% of your revenues. So even though it's nice to have a workshop here and there, maybe once a quarter, but it's not ultimately your money maker. In my studios, when I ran 7 studios, we did lots of workshops, but mainly we did those workshops to keep our teachers, you know, inspired. It was a bigger decision, even though they weren't generating that much money for us. They kept our teachers inspired. And for us, it was very important that our teachers are inspired, that they're teaching yoga with so much passion. That's why we had workshops. And at the same time, we didn't have workshops like every week. We had them once a quarter in every one of the 7 locations. And a lot of times we had workshops in the money-making locations, like which was our Midtown studio, occasionally in the Heights. In all the other studios, maybe we had one workshop every 6 months. So I'm going to repeat that again. If you have a smaller yoga studio, have a workshop once a quarter or once every 6 months. Don't have a workshop every week, because ultimately workshops don't generate that much revenue for you. Instead, as an owner, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, you need to focus all of your energy on your money makers: auto pays, class passes. Now, I'm just using this example so that you can run parallels to your own business. You see how her teacher trainings make up only 1% of her revenues? When I look at it, it's an opportunity. And what do I mean by that? So let me give you an example from my own life. So Roger and I, my husband and I, personally led every single one of our teacher trainings. So our teachers trainings were between 35 to 55 people, every person paying between $2,000 to $3,000. You do the math, right? $150 per training, that's pretty good, right? But mainly it's a big revenue generator. And at the same time, our bigger reasoning for teacher trainings was because we wanted to train our own team. From day one, Roger and I always trained our own teachers. And from those teacher trainings, a big part of that was personal growth, transformation. We hired almost 100% of the time from our own trainees, because when the trainees come, we share with them our core values, our philosophy, what we are about, what's important to us, how we want them to teach, how we want them to stand, how do we want them to speak, how we want them to create community, how we want them to love and support our clients, how we want them to make their announcements about the teacher trainings, about the workshops, about different sales. So do you hear me? We train, even though we were extremely busy, we always trained our own team, because that's how we enrolled people into our core values and our philosophy. And from day one, we enrolled them into sales culture, because you alone cannot sell it all. You have to have a strong team who will sell with you. Breathe that in. So teacher trainings for this studio, I see it as a big opportunity. Do whatever, instead of promoting workshops, instead of promoting yoga pants that you made yourself by hand, focus all of your attention developing a teacher training, get it Yoga Alliance certified, and start training teachers. Training your own team is one of the most important things that you can do as a leader of your business, as a yoga studio owners. You're developing your team, you're inspiring your team, you're getting your team to do what you need them to do in order for your business to succeed. I get really passionate talking about that. I hope this makes sense. Okay, let me just make really quickly see that if there's anything in the chat, just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, all is good, so we can keep going. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Okay, sit up, take a deep breath. We're about to jump into the numbers and I need to speed it up. So year-over-year retention, client retention, this is a big picture kind of look. And what this number does, what this ratio, it shows you how many of your last year's clients are still with you this year. Do you know what I mean? I spoke about it many, many, many times. The average retention for a yoga business is 10%. It's actually less than 10%. Just think about it. Less than 10% of your clients are coming year over year. That's like really sad. That's if you don't do anything. A good goal is to retain 50% of your clients, right? 50%. That means that like you got to do whatever it takes to keep the client who is already in the door, get them to stay, whatever it takes, right? Offer them the classes that they want, develop community, train your teachers, have that passion, that lit up energy going, do socials, go and, have Taco Tuesday after your 6 p.m. flow class, do challenges, do community events. I'm going to talk about this extensively. When we're going to talk about marketing, when we're going to talk about the extra stuff, I'm going to show you how to do it. But what I'm saying is right now, it's really important for you to retain that client who's already coming into the door. So let me show you how to run this report. Oh, where it is. Oh, it's right here. Let me show you where it is. Okay, take a deep breath. Oh, it's this one here. Year over year, big picture. How many clients are you retaining? And this portion is right here. So this is how you run your reports. You see how it says reports, sales, sales by service, dates last year, tag new. This is how you do it. Take a deep breath. I'm going to do it as slowly as I can. What did I say? Reports. Did I say sales? I did. Sales by category. It actually doesn't matter which sales report you run. We're going to do last year's sales. The data range will be last year. You can click go. You don't have to. But ultimately, what we want the software to do is to grab those people, which the option is tag new. You see here, little big button here, tag new, tag new. And it shows you right here, pop up, 282 people. This number is off. The number slightly changed, I believe. Let me see. Sales by service. Never mind. The numbers will be a little bit off. It's just how the software works. It's no big deal if their numbers are a little bit off, but I'm going to do it the proper way. So instead of sales by category, I'm going to do sales by service. It's slightly different. I'm going to show it to you again. Sales by service, last year, tag new. It's 269. Do you see? This is a number here, 269, 269. So I'm going to go into my spreadsheet and I'm going to plug this number here, 269. Do you see, guys? So these are the total number of clients, new clients I had last year. So like I said, this studio just opened, I believe, in September of 2018. So she had 269 students from September to December of 2018. So I'm going to see how many of those students did I retain this year. Okay, so going back to the mind body, and all I'm going to do, I'm going to stay on the same screen. I'm going to change the data range to this year, and I'm going to say year to date. So from January 1st, today is August 8th, I'm going to run this report. Do you see this here? Show tagged clients only. I'm going to click that because remember, I want to see out of those students that came last year, I want to see how many are still coming this year. So I'm going to click tagged clients only, and I'm going to say go. You actually don't have to say go. All I'm going to do is tag new again. And what it's doing for me, it's pulling up out of 269 students, 113 are still coming this year. Are you with me? Take a deep breath. So I'm going to plug this number into the spreadsheet here, 113. Do you see that? And there is a formula here. And what is essentially is doing 269 divided by 113, and it shows me a ratio. It tells me that 42% of my last year's students are coming this year. This is really good. So I hope you're running this report for your own data right now. See what that percentage is for you. Whatever that percentage is, this is how many students that came to your studio last year are still coming this year. So take a deep breath. You know, whatever that number is, don't get depressed, or, you know, if the number is low, I'm going to teach you how to show it around, turn it around, guys. So if you don't take mindful, deliberate steps towards retention, increasing your attention, having community events, you know, training your team, working on customer service, having community events, developing your sales culture, your year over year retention will be around 10%, which is not a good number. But if you do a good job like this, you know, the example that I showed you, she is my one-on-one client, and you see how her number is 42% because She's doing what I'm teaching her. Like remember how I said in one of those videos, I said, if you're hiring me as your coach, what I'm asking you to do is listen, do, succeed. Listen, do what I'm asking you to do what I'm teaching you, and I guarantee you will succeed. And her numbers are reflecting of that. So she's retaining 42% of her clients from last year. It's really good. Okay, take a deep breath, stretch out, stretch out. So if you're not following along right now, your homework will be to run these numbers for yourself. I'm just demoing it for you. So no visit after first visit. This is the next KPI that we're going to talk about. This is really important. So what this number shows you is how many of your new clients who just walk into the door never come back again. How many of your clients, what percentage of your clients after their very first visit to your yoga studio never come back? Why is it important? It's important for us to see the numbers. Like sometimes it can be like freaking 70%. And if my number is 70%, I would be like, something is off. Something is wrong. This is an emergency. This is an urgent matter. I need to spend time with that team, front desk team. I got to look at the teachers. They're doing something. That number is very high. What is it? Maybe I'm offering the classes that they don't. Maybe like I'm offering hot yoga classes. Maybe 90% of my classes on the schedule are 90 like hot yoga, and the clientele in that particular studio are older people, like premenopausal women, menopausal women. They don't like to be in the hot room. This is the wrong class offering. Do you know what I mean? I need to shift it to flow classes that are air conditioned. I need to research what my clients want. I need to research what my team is doing. I need to see what's going on in that studio, because 70% no visit after first visit would be a very high ratio. Are you with me? So why do they not come back? Is it customer service? Is it the quality of the classes? Is it the offerings? What is it? Some of the solutions can be maybe my team needs to be trained on the sales culture. How do I talk about my intro offer? How do they, my friend desk team, how do they talk about 5 class passes? How do they talk about 10 class passes? How do they talk about auto pay? How do they talk about community events? What are they doing? If I saw 70, 80% no visit after first visit, I would camp my butt at that studio and I would be there from opening to closing to figure out what my team is doing there. I'll take my ass to those classes and figure out what the teachers are doing, and I'm going to train their butts to do it the way I want them to do it. Do you know what I mean? This is why this number is important. I'm going to send out surveys. I'm going to call people myself and find out why they're not coming back. It's not to get them to come back. If they come back, if you can talk them into coming back, it's really great. But most importantly, you want to understand why they're not coming back and take steps to get them to come back. Okay? So look at that, teacher training, irresistible offer. Those are all the solutions. But what this ratio shows you, the lower the ratio is, the better it is. The lower, the better. So an industry average is between 50 to 60%. Just think about it. 60% of your clients never come back to your yoga studio after their first visit. That is freaking depressing. Do you know how many new clients you got to bring into your door to get them to stay? So this is if you don't do anything, if you don't take deliberate steps to do it all. I never said running a yoga studio was an easy task. I said you can do it with ease. You can do it effortlessly. You can do it with passion. But it's, you got to work on all the fronts. So your goal is about 30%. At Yoga 1 hour, no visit after first visit, across all 7 studios, an average was 27, which we were around the goal. We're doing better than the goal. So you want to shoot for that number. So let's look at it together, okay? So you have your mind body open. You have your spreadsheet open. I'm going to show you how to run that number. So do it with me. Follow along. If you're using some other software, I promise you, it has a way to run this report as well. So here it is. No clients, no visit after first visit. So what you do is reports marketing first visit, tag new. Reports marketing first visit, tag new. So let's do it. This is so exciting. Take a deep breath. Ooh, the sun is, you can see. So I said reports. It's under clients, guys. Clients. Where is it? Maybe not marketing. Oh yeah, marketing. I knew it was under clients, marketing. Where's first visits? Dang it, where is it? Am I not seeing it? Well, I know it's under my favorites because I run it all the time for her. I'm just gonna do first visits. Ah, you can also type it in here under search and it'll pull it up. That's probably easier. First visit. And you do this report by month. So let's say we'll run it for last month. Let's do it for January to make it easy. I'm gonna run it, this is an example. I'm gonna run it for you for January 2019, January 1st through January 31st. Go. And then you're gonna tag new again. 154 clients. 154 clients. So let's go to that spreadsheet. Okay. Share. I want to see that right now. So I'm going to put it here under January. I believe this is the number. Yeah, it's a little bit off. I ran that report for her earlier in the week. It's 154, but 2 days ago I ran it. The numbers will be a little bit off. It's okay. It's insignificant. So it's 154 new people who came in the month of January. 150. She had 152, 154 new clients in the month of January. What we're going to do next is run the second report, reports marketing first visit, tagged clients only. So out of those 152 clients, I want to see how many I retained 2 months later. Why do we say that? Let me just turn this so it's not, the sun is not in my face. So I'm going to give them 3-month window. Even though they came in January, I'm going to give them 3-month time period to see if they ever came back. Maybe their dog died, or maybe they went on vacation. I'm not going to measure it in the same month. I'm going to give them a 3-month period to see if they're coming back. So let's do that. So what did I do here? Reports marketing, first visit, tag clients only. Only show with no visits after first visit this month plus 2-month tag new. It ain't that complicated. It sounds really complicated, but it's not. It's not complicated. Take a deep breath. So first and foremost, I'm gonna click this window that says show clients only, because I'm gonna say out of those 154 that came in January, I'm gonna say only show clients with no visit after first visit, because I want to see how many of those people never came back, and I'm going to give them a 3-month window. So from January 1st, I'm going to tag on 2 more months, which is February and March, right? So I'm going to say February, March 31st. So my window will be, crap. My window will be January 1st. And I'm going to do it to March 31st. Are you following me? So I'm going to expand the window to 3 months because maybe their dog died. Maybe something happened. Maybe they went on vacation. Out of the 154 that came in January, I'm only interested in those that are not coming back. They never came back. And I'm going to tag on 3 months. And then I'm going to say tag new. Tag new. 51 clients. 51 clients never come back. 1/3. Are you with me? 1/3 of those people never come back. And I'm going to put that number You see this 152 in this column here, 51 never came back. That means 34% of my clients never came back after their first visit. You know, she's a little bit below the goal, but that's okay. A third, you see, other months she's doing much better. It depends. And remember, it's seasonality. Sometimes you'll see that that ratio is higher. Again, I would research what's going on with your team, what's going on with your yoga teachers. You know, if you have a smaller studio, I would even go, depending, I'd call those people. I'd run that report and call those people and be like, hey, you know, I wanted to see, you know, a lot of times people are very open and will give you feedback why they didn't like it. A lot of times you can use that opportunity is to invite them back and say, hey, you know, oh, I see that you don't like hot yoga, it's too hot. But, you know, did you know that we also have flow classes? Oh, yoga is not your cup of tea, but did you know that we also have Pilates classes? We have cardio weights classes. You know, like it's an opportunity for them also to invite them back, but also to understand why they're not coming back. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Dang. All right, what do I need to do here? I need to go back to my presentation. Right here. So I hope this is making sense, guys. Tap your questions if this is not making sense. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is new clients purchasing your intro offer. So I'm going to say that again. I say it all the time. I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record. Our goal is to get everybody walking into the studio to purchase your intro offer. I'm going to talk about it in more details when we talk about marketing, when we talk about sales culture, but ultimately your goal, in my opinion, this is how I build 7 yoga studios. This is how I build hugely successful multi-million-dollar fitness brand, because on this, my goal is to get everybody who's walking into the studio to buy intro offer. It's a 30-day unlimited pass that is dirt cheap. Irresistible offer, 30 for 30. 30 days of yoga for $30. In those 30 days, you know, we're showing them, take this class, take this class. My front desk team is like, you know, talking to them, connecting with them, showing them around, right? Oh, have you done flow? Have you done hot? Have you done cardio classes? Blah, 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 blah. You know, we're hanging out. Hey, invite them to Taco Tuesday. Do you know there is this community event? Like, this is the time when you're romancing your client. After that, you want to have the steps in place to get them to buy something, either a class pass or an auto-pay membership. Ultimately, you want them to convert to auto-pay, but some people will never commit. So you want those people who are buying your intro offer to buy something, buy a t-shirt, buy something, anything. Do you know what I mean? And you train your team to do that. And because it's not just sale, making money, ultimately you're selling your bigger purpose, right? If people practice yoga, in my opinion, 2 to 3 times a week regularly, I guarantee you they're going to be healthier, they're going to be happier, they're going to feel more inspired, they're going to feel good about themselves. My higher purpose is to help people live a happy, healthy, and inspired life. This is why I train my team. My team is lined up behind my purpose. This is why when we're selling, it doesn't feel like selling. It feels more like an offering. We're offering people a way to step into that healthier, happier, more inspired lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? So new clients purchasing intro offer. This ultimately, this measure shows you how many of all the people who walk into your studio, they buy the intro offer. Why is this important? It needs to be an irresistible offer. If your intro special is 2 weeks for $79, it's freaking too expensive. This person who walks into the studio, they don't even know if they're gonna like it. They've never done yoga before. It needs to be cheap enough. It needs to be, look at it as an investment. This is your, remember how I said last time in the market, in the pricing strategy, your intro offer is your best, easiest marketing there is. You already captured the client. So he's already, or she's already coming in. Your goal is to like romance them, give them a really great deal, go above and beyond, over deliver. Do you know what I mean? So if nobody is buying your intro offer, it's probably not a good enough deal. So this is why we look at it. This is why we'll look and we measure it, not just by gut feeling. Oh, my yoga classes are too good. I offer best yoga classes in town, or whatever you say. You know, if your numbers are low, guess what? Ain't nobody buying them. So you got to do something. You got to change your pricing structure. You need to train your team so that the goal is 60 to 80% of new people need to buy your intro offer. Again, I'm talking big picture right now. When we go into the nitty-gritty details about the sales culture, about how it all fits in, I'm going to talk to you more about how to train your team. But right now, I'm telling you, the goal is 60 to 80%. The industry average is 40 to 60%. Let's see how this studio is doing. So I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet. I love numbers. Numbers love me. I love numbers. Numbers love me. You guys say it with me. Okay, new clients purchasing intro offer. How does this report work? So for this lady, she started doing intro offer when she started coaching with me. So she's implemented it in January because we started our coaching in December. So you see right here, it's empty because she didn't have an intro offer. She started implementing in December. So let's say we're going to run, she started implementing in January. So we're going to start in January. So the report goes like this: reports, marketing, first visit, tag, new. Remember, we did that already, 152 clients. And then remember, we ran that report. So the next one will be sales by service, select intro offer, tag clients only, this month, tag new. Okay, so let's do that. Oh, so we're gonna go into Mindbody, get excited about the numbers. This truly is exciting. You get to find all sorts of information about your clients. What did I say? Reports, first visits. We're gonna do it for January, the entire month of January. Okay. So I'm gonna select the time frame of January. I'm gonna untag these things. It's reports, first visits. Go and tag new. 154 clients. Remember that we just ran it a few minutes ago. So what I'm gonna say, in the same time frame in January, out of 154 clients, how many purchased my intro offer? So the time frame will stay the same. I'm gonna click show tag clients only, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go under sales by service report. Sales by service report. And I'm gonna say January, a month of January. I'm gonna say only tag clients, only those first clients who came in month of January, 154. And I'm gonna say, hey, I wanna see how many of purchased intro offer under pricing options. What's going on here? Why is it not showing me this? You see, like if you don't have it, this is why it's important to set up all of your things correctly. So she set it up a little bit differently. So she has a whole new category, her own category for interest special. I'm just gonna select interest special. So I'm gonna say it again, that take a deep breath. Out of 154 new people in the month of January, how many of those people bought your intro offer, right? I'm gonna say go. You see how I'm selecting intro special right here? And I'm gonna say tag new. It's 28. Out of 154, only 28 purchased the intro offer. So I'm gonna go back to the spreadsheet and I'm gonna plug those numbers in. And it's right here. So the numbers shifted a little since I ran this report. 152 close enough, 30 for purchase intro offer, to only 20%. Now, remember how I said that she implemented an intro offer only when she started coaching sessions with me? So that was literally, the month of January was her first month. Then I taught her how to like promote it, how to train the team. Look how her numbers are improving. 20%. Next month, 49%. Month after that, 65%, 53%. And then it's dipping a little bit again in the month of summer. And then it's picking back up again in the month of July. I think she had a special community event in July. Do you see? These are good numbers. You know, you want those numbers to be high. The goal is between 60 to 80%. If your number is low, if your intro special sold to new clients is low, it's a warning sign you need to change something. Either your intro offer, either you need to retrain your team, maybe there is not enough marketing, there is not enough sales trainings for your team to do it. Do you know what I mean? So right now, all we're doing is crunching the numbers so that the numbers can paint us a picture. And then we're gonna look at the numbers and be like, oh, I think we need to do this. Oh, I think so you can make informed decisions. You don't just go off of the gut feeling. You don't only just go, oh, I had this crazy idea. You measure your ideas. How effective are they? Okay. Let's go back to my presentation and look at the next, into the next matrix. And the next matrix is intro offer retention. So what it does, it shows us a percentage of people who buy something, anything, after they buy their intro offer. Ideally, remember I said you want to convert them to auto-pay membership, but if they're non-committal, some people are non-committal, right? You want them to buy a class pass, buy a t-shirt, buy anything. It's important for us to see how effective our sales process is now in this point in time. And then once you implement the changes that I'm going to recommend for you, hopefully that number is going to go up. You know, and when you look at the numbers, you can measure the effectiveness of your trainings, effectiveness of your decision making, effectiveness of your pricing strategy, effectiveness of your trainings, customer service, all of that. This is why the numbers are so important. Okay, the industry average is 25%. So that means that after your new clients purchase your intro offer, only 25% of those people are buying anything. So your goal is 50 to 60%. 50 to 60. Okay, let's run that report. Oh yeah, we're gonna go back to the sexy, amazing looking template. And you say intro offer retention. And there are instructions right here. First, you go sales, sales by service, intro offer, tag new. Right? We just ran that report for January, so 35. And then the second one will be sales, sales by service, all series. And here again, we're going to give them a 3-month period, right? So if they came in January and they purchased your intro offer, maybe something happened. Maybe they went on vacation. Maybe they got busy at work. They didn't come back right away. So you want to give them a longer period of time, 3 months. I recommend 3 months. So let's say if they came on January 15th, you're going to go approximately 3 months to see if they came back and bought something else. So let's see how this report looks like. So sales, sales by service, intro offer, tag clients. Okay. We already sales by service. We're going to go in the month of January. We're going to undo this one and we're going to do intro special, right? Because what we want to measure is how many people bought intro special in January. And I'm going to tag new. 35 people. So in the month of January, 35 people bought intro special. Are you with me? Now I'm going to add on 3 more months because I'm going to expand the time frame. Let's say February or March. Come on. You know, it's just easier to type it in. So you see how I expanded January through March. I'm going to say tag clients only. And I'm going to say all revenue categories. I want to know how many of those people bought anything. Tag new. I have to take out intro special because they already bought. I don't want to double count intro special. So I'm going to select all revenue categories, all the things that she has for sale, except for intro offer. Do you see how I uncheck that? And then I'm going to say tag new, 15. So out of those 35, 15 bought something in the 3 months after. So 50, let's go. KPI report, here are my numbers, 35 and 15, 43%. Good, good. Roughly half, I mean a little bit less than half, but 43% of your intro offer people bought something at your studio. That's really good. That means they liked it. They liked being there. They liked it. So look down the road, you see I ran her numbers by month, and it's 43%, 39%, 41, 30, 20. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. She's retaining close to half of her clients off of the intro offer, right? Are you following? Are you with me? That's good. Can they be better? Of course they can. And I'm going to teach you how to make those numbers better. But as we stand, those numbers are pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit faster so that we stay in integrity with time. We're going to go back to my presentation and look at another one. Okay, so remember for intro offer retention, 25% is industry average. You want to shoot for 50 to 60%, and it's doable. You can do it. If you're firing up on all cylinders, if you're training your team, if you're marketing, if you're doing sales, if you're doing all those things, 50 to 60% is pretty doable. Okay, take a deep breath. Now the drum roll. Drum roll is important. Intro to auto pay conversion. To me, it's the ultimate measurement of the effectiveness of my marketing, is the ultimate measure of the effectiveness of my pricing strategy, is the ultimate measure of the effectiveness of my front desk team, of my sales culture. So ultimately, the way I see it, I want everybody coming into my studio buying my intro special. And in the ideal world, in my vision, people who buy the intro offer, they love it so much. They fall in love with my offerings. They fall in love with my community. They fall in love with my higher purposes, my core values, that they want to become regular members. They want to come. They're totally sold. They see that if they practice yoga 2-3 times a week regularly, they're going to be happier, they're going to be healthier, they're going to be inspired. And the cheapest, remember how we talked about pricing strategy last time? The cheapest way to practice yoga has to be your auto pay membership, right? Remember, we talked about it in the last module. So ultimately, if they drink my Kool-Aid, so to speak, if they're totally aligned with what I have to offer, and remember, you only want those people who want to be with you, that this ratio is going to be high. So in my opinion, this measures how effective your sales process is, your sales culture, your marketing, your community, and your processes. You know, it's one thing that they can like your studio, they can love your culture and all, but if you don't have processes in place to make it easy for them to convert, then you didn't do your job. You got to make it easy for them to buy, to enroll, to purchase things, to buy things at your business. So that means auto emails, right? So you send them auto emails. First of all, you have to make sure that they give you an email address, they give you their phone number, so you can send them that link saying, hey, you only have 2 weeks left on your intro special, and if you sign up for auto pay, which is the cheapest way to practice yoga, you get this irresistible offer. It's dirt cheap. It's like $7 a class. It's like practically free, right? You have to promote it on the website, you got to post it on social media, you got to train your team. So ultimately, intro to auto pay conversion is my ideal world. I want to measure how good I'm doing, how well I'm doing. Take a deep breath. We're going to go into the numbers. Okay, so intro to auto pay conversion, industry average, get this. If you don't do anything, it's less than 5%. It's sad, right? Less than 5% of the people convert to auto pay, which is like really depressing. That means if you don't do anything, if your sales process is crap, if you don't train your teams, 5%. But what I'm saying is like the goal, 20 to 30%. The reason why Yoga One was so successful, my studios, I mean, I'm not saying it like to brag or anything. I'm just showing you what you can do. It can be. If I did it, you guys can do it. If I could generate mid 7-figure revenues, have a team of 150 people, a community of thousands and thousands. If I can do it, somebody who started and didn't do anything, you can do it. More of a, I'm teaching, I'm showing you how. I'm showing you 10 years of experience, and you know, I'm showing you how. So at Yoga One, we had 25%, which was high. Sometimes we had it 35%, sometimes we had a little bit lower. But on average, I took the 2017 data, is 25%. I will tell you, like, it's seasonal, right? And 2015 was a really kick-ass year, like close to 50% were converting. So it changes. And when you measure, when you look at your KPIs, you can see how the numbers are changing. More, I'm going to tell you guys honestly, one of the reasons why I sold my studios is because I saw the change in the numbers before the actual change was coming. Yeah, this is why, I mean, one of the reasons why I sold it. Ultimately, it was divine guidance, but one of the reasons why I sold, because I measured my KPI, and because I looked at the KPIs regularly, I could anticipate what's coming down the road, which is a little bit more challenging, right? More challenging than it was when I first began. So looking at the numbers is key, guys. It's key. I could see that if in 2015, my intro to autopay conversion was like 50 to 60%, and in 2017 it was 25, I'm like, oh shit, something is changing. Either too much competition or the market is being saturated, but it's gonna have an effect down the road. You know, it ultimately did. But I already sold the studio, which was, thank God. So anyway, I want to teach you how to look at the numbers periodically, consistently, not just periodically, but consistently, to understand what these numbers mean so you can make informed decisions, good decisions, not just feel it, but measure it. Okay, my speech here. Okay, let's look at the numbers. So we're gonna go back to KPI, sexy template, and we're gonna say conversion of intro to auto pay. How do we do that? We say, remember, we already ran that matrix, 35, right? In the month of January, 35. Sales by service, intro, offer, tag, new. We already done that, 35% to 35 people. And then we're gonna say sales by service, auto pay, tagged clients only. And then again, we're gonna give them a bigger time frame, January plus 2 months, because we wanna, you know, give them some space for work, business, family stuff, blah, blah, blah. So you're gonna go, we're gonna go month of January. It's a report sales by service. We're gonna say we're only interested in intro people, intro specialists. See how I'm selecting those? I'm gonna tag new. We know that number is 35, or just ran the report 35, right? What I'm gonna also say is we're gonna tag on 3 more months. So January 1st to March 31st, we're tagging on 2 more months. I'm gonna say out of those 35 people, tag clients only. And I'm gonna select here, auto pay. If you have your categories set up correctly, it should be a very simple report. If you have a big mess here, you gotta set it up, you gotta clean it up, otherwise your report won't mean anything. So hers is nice, it's auto pay. We're gonna say tag me 13. So out of 35, 13 bought the auto pay. That's really good, you guys, that's good. She's kicking all sorts of ass. Butt kicker. So that was January. Remember, that's when she implemented intro special after coaching with me. Yes, I like to take a little bit of credit, but she did all the work. She did all the work, and it's amazing. So her 37%, 37, 33, 34, 30, 27. It's good. It means 37, about on average, let's see. On average, 32% of her intro special people are converting to autopay. That's good. That's really good. Can it be better? Of course it can, but as of right now, she's doing really good. So do you see also here, these 3 columns, I kind of collapsed them a little bit, but this column shows if you didn't do anything, the industry average is 5%. Your goal is 20 to 30%. So she's kicking butt. She's doing better than the goal. Do you know what I mean? Yay, baby. So proud of you. So we're going to go over here. Let's all take a really deep breath. Now, I understand, guys, that I just dropped a lot on you. And I want you to take a really deep breath right now. I never said it was easy. I said that it can be done with ease and grace. I also said that doing these numbers is extremely important. If you want to learn how I kick butt and created the 7 yoga studios and like created thriving community, touched and changed thousands of people's lives, you know, it's because I looked at the KPIs all the time, every month, at least once a month, but usually weekly, daily. Certain aspects of the KPIs I look daily. And after looking at the numbers, after understanding the numbers, after reading the picture, then it was very clear to me my gaps, right? If I saw the changes, I would either devote my time training my team, I would devote my time reevaluating my class schedule, my pricing. Ultimately, your KPIs they highlight the areas that need your immediate attention. You know, if you have multiple studios, that's even more obvious. You can see like, oh, this new studio or this studio, something is going on there. Maybe like a bunch of people quit. Maybe like the studio leader is kind of, you know, going through a rough spot and feeling kind of depressed, and maybe you need to go and, you know, take her out to lunch and give her some coaching. You know, maybe it's time for you to take the team to we called it Star Summit retreat. By the way, I'm right here at Blue Sky Retreat Center, our very own retreat center in the beautiful Taos, New Mexico. If you want to lead retreats, come to New Mexico. When we, you know, had our yoga studios, we would have once a year, we called it Star Summit. All of our leadership team, marketing director, HR director, studio directors would bring them here to Taos and would spend like 3 solid days, you know, freaking inspiring the heck out of them, taking them out on hikes, you know, swimming in this beautiful swimming pool, just connecting with our team, because ultimately your personal relationship with your team is gonna affect how successful you are. If people feel inspired by you, if they feel connected to you, not only your team but also your clients, you're gonna succeed, because you need these people. You need their love and support for you all to thrive, to be successful. Okay. I know it was a lot, and it's absolutely necessary for us to move forward. Your homework is to download that KPI template and to run your numbers. That's your homework, and you got to do it in 2 weeks. You have to. There's no way around it. Without it, you know, the rest of the modules will not make sense because you won't know how to measure them. You can just look at me, listen to me, and be inspired by me by a moment, but ultimately you won't be able to implement or measure it because you don't know where you stand. Remember how the very first bonus video I made, it's important for you to understand where you are right now and, you know, set the vision where you want to be. This is measured, the KPI measures where you are right now. Then after all these modules, we go through I'm going to teach you what's possible and where you decide where you want to be. And I'm going to teach you how to get there. But it starts right here. It's like a GPS on your phone, right? Without typing in that your starting point, it doesn't matter where your destination is because your map doesn't work. You know, the map is inefficient. Are you with me? Okay, so download KPI template, run your 8 KPIs. If you haven't watched the basics video, watch that basics video. It's important. Revenues, attendance is very important. All these ratios, understanding those ratios is very, very important. And if you hate the numbers, guys, I can run your KPIs for you. I'm going to charge you for that, $60 an hour. It's very reasonable in my opinion. It takes hours. For me to put this KPI sheet for my friend took me on like an all day, but I've already done it a million times. So it's going to take me maybe 5 hours, 3 hours, but it's going to take you 30 hours if you did it on your own. But I can run those numbers for you. I suggest that you do it at least 2 years back by month. So because you can see the seasonality, you want to see year over year change.
it's important to understand where you are now, but it's also important to understand where you were last year or the year before last, so you can measure how your business is changing, how it's evolving, or maybe it's regressing. So if it's regressing, the time is now. The urgency is here and now. So run your KPI reports. It's very, very, very important. You have 2 weeks to do it. If you're like, I hate numbers, I don't know how, they don't make sense, I don't have time, I will run them for you. I'm just going to charge you $60 an hour for that. Okay, let me just come back to the sheet right here. Okay, guys, this is it. That's all I have for you today. This is a reminder that, all the content is out there on that special website that I send you over and over again in my every email that I send. And I usually send one email a week. If you're not receiving the emails, please let me know. There is a tapping meditation that I shared with you. It's literally the most effective, efficient, and quickest way to get out of overwhelm. I understand if right now you're feeling overwhelmed by all these numbers, all these reports, do the tapping meditation. It will really help you to shift out of that state, unresourceful state, into a state where you're resilient, resourceful, you're powerful, you can do it. You can do it. It ain't no rocket science. You can do it. You can do it. It's easy. You can do it. Now, if you don't have the time, I'm here to help you. If you have any questions, reach out. I'm always here to support you. Just let me know. I'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. If you have any concerns, if you don't know what to do next, where to start, ask me, call me. I'm always here to support you. Love you. Bye.